What's good, y'all? It's your boy HB with Final Round and Drive Time Boxing. First off, I want to apologize for the quality of the video. I know there's a glare up top here. Fuck, man. I'm living in Los Angeles, and I open the door and I fucking trip over a goddamn bum that I didn't even see, and my phone the screen shatters. So I apologize for the quality. I wanted to get this video out soon. I was hoping to fix my screen before I did, but it's probably going to take a while before I get that done because of stupid reasons. But anyways, that's not the point. Look, I want to talk about the results of Canelo and Billy Joe Saunders. I got to eat some shit on this one because I did predict that Billy Joe was going to find some way to squeeze it out on the scorecards, and he wasn't even close, man. I will say this. I completely underestimated how great Canelo Alvarez and how much he has improved. You know, and in the comment section below, I did notice somebody say that the difference in this fight was going to be Canelo's experience. And I scoffed at that at first, but I totally see it now. And Canelo did, I mean, he's on another level, man. And one thing I love about Canelo is how much he's a student of the game and how much he's improved over each fight. It's amazing. It's amazing, man. And anybody who comes into the game and they're truly trying to get better, I don't even care if they're not competitors, just trying to get better, I have so much respect for that. And Canelo has shown that with the style of movement that he had issues with initially with like Floyd Mayweather and Erislandy Lara, he solved that problem. And at this point, there's no reason for me to keep doubting him because the proof is in the fucking pudding. And he took a guy like Billy Joe Saunders and completely dismantled him. You know, one thing that I didn't take into consideration enough was the difference between power and a consistent body attack. It was not till late to where I discovered that Billy Joe Saunders does not string enough of a body attack to threaten Canelo Alvarez. The writing was on the wall immediately in this fight, because when I saw Canelo get in that ring, one of the keys, I think, in one of my analysis videos was the left hook to the body for Canelo. And man, he came out the first round and I think he ripped a couple of left hooks to the body, and Billy Joe Saunders did not have a response or match that body attack. And I was waiting for him to do that throughout the fight, and he never did. And it was just plain to see that he was doomed. It didn't even matter if he had his orbital broke. I'm telling you right now, Canelo would have had broken him down with those body shots throughout each round, that it wouldn't even mattered if Billy Joe Saunders never got his orbital broke. He probably would have got knocked out or TKO'd eventually. It was just very impressive. The whole time, Canelo was like, all right, I'm going to break you down to the body. And he even threw another dimension into his body attack. He threw that right hook to the body and that right uppercut to the body, and ultimately which set up that right uppercut to the head, which I think is the punch that broke Billy Joe Saunders' orbital. It was mastery, man. It was complete mastery, and props to him. He's on another level. I think right now you have to give him pound for pound the best in the world, even though I think Terrence Crawford is breathing down his neck or even in front of him. So yeah, man, impressive in performance. I mean, I don't see anybody who can beat Canelo right now. I mean, maybe Benavidez, maybe, just because of the size and the power and just the aggression that Benavidez comes with. But even then, man, I don't even know if Benavidez can get the job done. Caleb Plant, I like Caleb Plant. Once again, I think he has the right style to defeat a guy like Canelo, but does not have the experience just like Billy Joe Saunders. And what I mean by experience is facing lots of top-tiered guys. You know, that was also something I scoffed at, and I should have took more in consideration in terms of Billy Joe Saunders versus Canelo. Billy Joe Saunders, yeah, he beat Chris Eubank, he beat David Lemieux, he beat Andy Lee, all very great, you know, very good boxers. But compared to Canelo, it's not enough, man. And David Lemieux, after he got dismantled by Triple G, I mean, he is what he is. So Caleb Plant is the same thing. I don't think he has a good enough resume against top-tiered fighters yet to take that fight and win it. I honestly don't want to see Caleb Plant take this fight. I think he should sit back, you know, continue to build more. I don't even know if he has an option to kind of avoid that fight with Canelo right now. But I see it going very similar, the same way with Billy Joe Saunders. I think that Canelo will rip him to the body throughout the fight and ultimately knock him out or TKO him. Because you look at Caleb Plant's fight with, I'm sorry if I hack his name, Uzcategui, something like that, right? I'm sorry, I hacked his name, but Uzcategui or some shit like that. He almost got, he had his chin checked a few times, and he was on Queer Street. And Uzcategui, he's not Canelo on any sort of level. So I don't see that fight going well for Caleb Plant unless he takes more time to build a bigger and better resume. Charlo probably be one of his toughest challenges for Canelo, but even Charlo, same thing. I don't think stylistically he matches up well with Canelo, and I don't think he has enough experience against top-tiered fighters to win that fight. So yeah, I mean, I don't know who beats Canelo at this point. I really don't. I still think that movement will give Canelo trouble, but you have to play it perfectly like Mayweather did. And I'll say this, I was very shocked at how Billy Joe Saunders approached that fight, because he did not utilize as much movement as I thought he would. Now, there's various reasons to why that may have been, to why that manifested, right? The body shots may have slowed Billy Joe Saunders right from the get-go. Two, being a big stage, coming to America, fighting one of the best fighters, pound for pound best fighter probably. The spotlight could have been a little bit too big, so he kind of lost sight of what he needed to do. And yeah, so I was very shocked that Billy Joe Saunders did not utilize more of his footwork, because it was like that from round one. And I did understand that he needed to stand his ground in this fight. You can't just keep on moving and moving and moving, sticking and moving. At some point, you're going to have to establish that you have control of the fight, and that you know, if you are going to fight off the back foot, that you have control of the fight, and that you are dictating the pace of it like Mayweather. So when Mayweather, and I want to make an analysis video of Canelo versus Mayweather, because it's very, there's a lot to learn from that. It's very intriguing. But Mayweather completely dominated Canelo, took control of the fight, and was able to eventually, in the mid rounds, kind of stake his ground and show the refs like, hey, I'm in control of this fight. When I want to put pressure on Canelo, that's because I can do it. If I want to move backward, if I'm moving backward, it's because I have control. If I'm fighting in the pocket, if I'm fighting in the corner, the ropes, it's because I'm taking the fight there, not because Canelo's forcing me to do it, and hypothetically in terms of speaking as Mayweather. And, you know, that's one of the keys to the fight. I mentioned, like, yes, utilize lots of movement. Billy Joe Saunders will need to utilize lots of movement, but there will be points in the fight to where he needs to settle that movement down and kind of stake his claim and dictate the fight. I was not expecting him to take that approach throughout the whole fight. It also, one of the things I need to point out, he might have been trying to conserve his energy as well, You know, he probably knew that he needed to go 12 rounds, and he didn't want to be on his skates so much to preserve his conditioning, because, man, it's hard to fight off the back foot for 12 rounds. Okay, very difficult. And then when you have an opponent who is breaking you down to the body and you're not matching those body attacks, your conditioning is exponentially, or cardio is exponentially going out the window. Because one, you're utilizing lots of movement, which requires phenomenal cardio. And then two, you know, Canelo's just ripping you to the body and you're not responding in any sort of way. So very impressive performance by Canelo. He, you know, another interesting video that I'm going to make is, can Canelo beat Floyd Mayweather right now? And I guess we can kind of present that in many different hypothetical scenarios. Like, can Canelo beat Mayweather right now? Can he beat Mayweather in his prime? You know, could he have beat Mayweather if he had more experience? So that's a whole nother video in itself. All I'm trying to say is, look, I got to eat some crow. I thought Billy Joe would pull it off on the scorecards. Canelo's on a completely different level. I would say he's in his prime right now. I don't see anybody who can beat him right now. I like Caleb Plant, but Caleb Plant is not ready for that fight. And he has the right style to beat Canelo, but not enough experience. And the one thing that I did not take into consideration for this fight with Billy Joe was the difference in power. I just don't think Caleb Plant is going to command enough respect from Canelo to keep him off him. So, wow. Brilliant performance by Canelo. I got to eat crow. He did phenomenal. He's really developing. I do think he is the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world right now. And props to those in the comment section who predicted Canelo was going to win this fight convincingly by KO. But yeah, man, this is your boy HB with Final Round, Drive Time Boxing. I want to get in some other videos with Canelo and Caleb Plant and Floyd Mayweather. But for now, I just want to get this video out and kind of give my rebuttal of what happened. So look, man, subscribe. I'm building this channel. I'm a boxer myself. I got a long way to go. I love boxing. I love the sweet science. I love discussing it. I love yucking it up in the comment section. So yeah, leave a comment or at least subscribe, man. Until another one, I'll get at you. Peace.